All right, hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be working on the cover for this journal that I'm working on. I thought I got all the paint off my fingers, but apparently I didn't. Sorry about that. But anyway, so yeah, I want to do the cover for the journal that I'm working on. It is a bee journal, as you can see. And this image is from the Digital Collage Club. So one of their, I'll leave the link and the information for where I got this down below. But I just printed this image that they had onto canvas, and this is what I want to use for the cover. So I printed it in black and white. It is actually in like a tea-stained kind of color originally, but I wanted to lower the contrast a little bit, so I changed it, pulled down the saturation and then the brightness, and yeah. So I do want to add that color back to it. So I'm just using some folk art paint here, and I shouldn't need too much of it. And I want to get it really watered down so that it doesn't cover up the image. It just gives it a wash of that color. Okay, so I gotta let this dry for a minute and then I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so we got it dried off. And I want to add a couple of lines around the edge here. I'm just going to pencil these in really quickly because I'm going to be covering them. But I want to add a little bit more of a frame around it. And I just need to know where to do that at. So I'm just using the guidelines that are basically already here. Like so. Okay, just to give myself a little bit more of a frame to work with. And I want to add some gold to this. But before I do the gold, I think I'm going to go in with the black and do a little bit of a drop shadow under the letters up here. I'm keeping this image pretty plain because I think I want to do some embroidery here in the center. So I want that to really be in the background. But I do want to bring the title a little bit forward. So I'm just going to use some black acrylic paint. And I want to thin that down a little bit because that's going to be too thick to control easily because it's a heavy body paint. I might have one that's not a heavy body paint somewhere, but currently this is what I have. So on the desk, there we go. And I'm just using a smaller detail brush for this. I think it's a size 5. And it's actually for painting miniatures. So yeah, I'm just going to go around and do the drop shadow for all of these. Okay, so next step is going to be to add the gold, and for this I'm using my Amsterdam acrylic ink in light gold. Yeah, light gold. And I'm going to use that same brush to do The outlining, I may go in with a larger brush to fill in the larger letters, but for the little detailing, I'm just going to use that same little brush. Okay, so I can't even tell you how like tempted I am to go in and find all of the bees and paint them gold and black. I'm not going to do that. Well, I don't know. I might still do that. But basically, what I want to do now is I want to embroider here in the center. I want the body of the bee to be a little fuzzy. And I want the wings, I think I'm going to use glossy accent for the wings. So let's see. I have some more of these images here. I apologize for all the paint all over my hands. That I can use. Well, that's a scary looking one. No, okay. So I have this guy, which I think he's a little too big. Yeah, too big. Okay, so then I have these ones. And some of these are more hornets and stuff, which is not what I want. Oh, here's that same one that was on the other one. So I think one of these two, I kind of like that blue contrast there, but I think this is going to be a little bit harder to stitch because the wings are down. And if I did, instead of doing glossy accents, if I did embossing powder, I think I have, excuse me, sorry about that. I think I have salvage patina. So that might actually work out okay. But will I get mad at that if the wings are the only blue thing on the cover? I'm going to have to think about that. But really quickly, what I'm going to do is fussy cut this out. Okay, so you can see now that he's dry. There's a little bit of a glossy sheen to him, but that's okay because we're going to cover him up. And I think before I do the cross stitching is I actually want to do the glossy accents because I'm worried if I do the, I said cross stitching, sorry, the embroidery, and then try to do the glossy accents on the wings, that it will get messed up because of the thread. I'm not sure if that would actually happen. That's something I'm going to have to test out at another time. But I'm going to go ahead and add the glossy accent to the wings and the eyes. Okay. So you can see he's got the shine to his wings and his eyes now. That's going to take a little bit of time to dry. So I'm going to let this sit for a little while, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the embroidery on the bee himself. So that I'm unfortunately going to have to do off screen. I have to get really close to be able to see where to put the stitches, and I can't really do that. You just see my head in front of the camera. So I'm going to have to do that off screen, unfortunately. But as soon as that's done, I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so I'm back. It is the next day. I did the embroidery while I was watching TV last night. You can see he's got little fuzzies. I love it. So cute. And what I've decided is I actually want to darken up on the inside of the corners here. I'm thinking I may cut off the excess around the gold on the outside because you can see it goes all the way to the edge here. So it wasn't quite centered the way that I cut it out, but I'm thinking I may have to cut that off. But really quickly, I want to go in and I want to darken the corners here. So for that, I'm just going to use the same color that I used to kind of darken the edges before, but I'm going to go a little heavier handed on it, and I may even have to add in some black. I'm not sure. I probably should have done this as well before I did the gold, but because the print was so light, I was worried that it wouldn't be enough. So I'm just going to try and be careful not to get on the black or the gold. If I do, then I might have to do some touch-ups afterwards. But yeah, so I'm just going to get this a little watered down, but a little darker than it was before and a little more concentrated. And then I'm just going to come along the inside of these lines. Take the paint off the brush, and then I'm just going to kind of fudge it out. Okay, so that is nice and dry. It's really subtle, but it did definitely bring the focus in more like I wanted it to. So do I want to cut off this extra bit? Yeah, I think I'm going to, because it's just not necessary for what we're using it for. I could keep it lighter by just using canvas. I can give it a little bit more of a border that way as well. I kind of like that. And then maybe some lace. I thought this one might work. Let's see. Does that blend too much with the background? I don't mind if they blend sometimes, because a lot of it's more about texture. But I do like to line things up to see if I like how it looks or not. Come on, work with me here. Thank you. Having issues. Typical day in the life of me. Okay. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. So this will give us 2 pieces of canvas is going to create a really sturdy but very soft cover journal. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. Yes, yes. And then I'm actually using the back. I'm going to be doing pretty much the exact same process I did here for that, except I'm not going to do the embroidery. So yes, I think this is what I do. Yes, yes. Ugh. I'm so not even like, I just don't know. Oh, do I have enough of this lace to even cover the whole side? Barely. I barely have enough for that. Okay, so I will... Do I want to attach the lace first? Probably. Okay. There's the messy background to my bee stitching. Okay, yeah, I like that. So what I'm gonna do, the inside's gonna be covered with the end pages, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just gonna glue this down really quickly, and for this, I'm just gonna glue in the center just to hold it in place while I'm sewing. And I'm gonna use my 3-in-1 for that because I need a better hold. If I can get it to come out. This glue was dry when I bought it, unfortunately. So, oh, come on. Come on. Out, out, out. Okay. Yeah, I refuse to throw it away, but it's very hard to work with, especially when my hand's already tired from all the embroidery. So get that fairly centered. And I'm just going to give that a push down to make sure we get some good adhesion. Sorry if I shook you guys. Okay, and then I'm going to let this sit just for a few minutes before I take it over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew this together. Okay, got the cover sewn on. Very happy with that. Like I said, the inside's going to get covered with the end paper. I'm wondering if I want to do anything else to this. I do want to ink the edges of the outer canvas. And I think I'll go with black for that, but I was also wondering if I wanted to add any book corners. Let me go ahead and do the inking since I know I want to do that, and then we can see if there's any book corners that I like. Okay, book corners. I mean, I use gold, so that may be what I should probably look for. Let's see, what about this one? I don't dislike it. Let's see. What do I think? Let me grab another one. Okay, and then you got to know this side's going to get covered up because of the stitching, but I don't mind this. I actually kind of like it. Whoops, I put it on upside down here. Silly girl. There we go. So, yeah, I don't mind that. I think for the binding, I'm going to be using... where did I put it? There it is. So I think I'm going to use this cloth, which actually matches really well with that. So yes, so I'm just going to take these out, set them to the side. It's not time to put all of that together yet. I'm still working on the signatures and everything, but I'm pretty happy with where this is so far. I need to get the other... ones of these to put on the back as well. Okay, so yeah, I think we're going to call it there for today. Like I said, I am not done with this journal yet. I really just wanted to kind of get the cover done so I had a little bit better feel of how to go about with the decorating, what colors I wanted to go heavy on and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like down below. Again, I will leave the information for the Digital Collage Club down in the description box below if you're interested in that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.